Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, my name's Eve. This is Eve's Creations Paint Party, and it is Tuesday. So, what does Tuesday mean? How to Tuesday. It is our practice sessions. So, we're going to practice. And tonight is cabins. So, I've been trying to cover stuff that you would do in like fall paintings, and I was thinking fall and foliage, and I'm like, and the scenery, and most people will put the cabins in there. So, hello, Tammy. Hello, artists. Hello, everybody. So, of course, I'm going to take down your names for some roll call, and you guys get out whatever you're going to practice with. You know, if you use mixed media paper, or maybe an old canvas, even some cardboard, whatever. It don't matter. Hello, Tina B. How you doing, sweetheart? So, we are going to do cabins tonight. So, of course, we have to say hello to you know who. Hey, Butters, where you going? Where you going, buddy? You gotta say hi to your fans. Say hi to your fans, bud. Aw, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. There you are. All right. So, because you never know when Mr. Butters is going to be chiming in. So I'm going to put you guys in your handy dandy holder, and I'm going to pour my paint. Same colors every single time. Black, white, red, yellow, and blue. And on my magic table here, we have all sorts of brushes, my palette, the water, you know, swirl, tap, dab to clean your brushes and all that good stuff. And we're starting off with a soda tonight. So I'm going to put you guys in your handy dandy holder. I'm going to pour my paint, and we'll get started. All right. Now, this is your practice session. So if you have any questions for me, 6,000% ask them, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, loves? All right. Sounds good, guys. Sounds good. Here you are. Handy dandy holder time. There it is, our blank canvas, but that's okay. We're going to fill it with some awesome stuff. What? That's what I'm talking about. All right, so you guys get what you're practicing with, and so far I have Tammy and Artist and Tina B in the house. If anybody else is painting along, practicing along with us, please say hello. Welcome to the fam. It's always good to have everybody here. Completely warms my heart that you guys come on and want to practice along with me and learn some new things so you guys can make your creating that much better, because that's what we do here, right? We practice along as a family, and we get our stuffs together, do what we got to do, all that good stuff. So, trying to get my yellow pump to work here, and the yellow just doesn't want to seem to be used because it is not cooperating with me. No, it's not. It is not cooperating. All right, let me see here. Maybe I can get a few more squirts out of it. Nope. So we're going to have to pour some yellow instead. I'm pouring the yellow. Always something, right, guys? Always something going on. Never know what it's going to be, but there's always something going on. So I'm just going to pour some yellow paint out. Oh, and I made a big old mess. All right, let's try this again. All right, so everybody want to see my mess? See this? Look, I made a mess. So we're going to grab a new palette and try this again, because I don't want to be working with that mess on my palette. I'll make even a bigger mess. So we're going to try this again. We're going to grab some white and red and black and blue, and I'm going to try to pour some yellow here. Not make a mess this time. You never know. You never know what's going to happen over here, right, guys? It's always something. Always something. There we go. That worked much better. All right. Now we're cooking with butter. That's what my aunt used to say all the time. Every time that something worked out right or did just what it was supposed to do, she'd say, "We're cooking with butter." All right, so I'm going to leave that mess over there. Now we got it. We are good to go. All right. So Cynthia's here. Hello, 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 fam. How you doing, sweetheart? Cynthia's in the house. Who else chimed on with us? See, it's a good thing that took me a while. Tina M in the house. Hello, Tina M. So we got both my Tinas and Cynthia and Artist and Tammy. And now that I got my paint board, and you guys are all ready to practice with me, well, let's put something on here that our cabins would be in, right? No reason why we can't do a little practice with our foliage first, right? So let's see. Let me grab some red and some yellow and some white. All right, get a background going on over here, red, yellow, and white, right? Perfect combination. Give ourselves a background. Might as well put our cabins in something, right? Doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to have it in something. So let's do a little scenery first. Why not? Why not, right? Might as well. Why not? We'll practice a little of our scenery going on. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. So, how'd you guys like the werewolf last Friday? That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. I still have to post some of your pictures. I'm slacking. I gotta post some of your pictures. I have to get around to that. I have the Friday befores to post too. So we'll have to make sure I take care of that. So right now I'm just throwing a little orangey peach and nice fall sunset colors, right? These are always fun to do. And you know that's like my favorite combination of colors, right? I love this combination. I love mixing the yellow, white, and red together. And there's Mr. Butters. I told you he might be chiming in. You never know when he's chiming in. You never, ever, 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 ever know. Right? So we're going to throw this up here. And maybe there's a lake, right? Maybe there's a lake. So I'm going to grab those same colors and let's throw in a lake. So let's do a lake real fast. Why not, right? Why not? Who says practice session always has to be just the object? Let's make a little scene tonight. You guys down with that? You guys cool with that? I hope you're cool with that because that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're going to throw in a little scene here. A little scenery for our cabins. Why not? 6,000%. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got something black up here. I have no idea what that is. Thanks, Cynthia, right? Why not? Right? So I got something like black on my canvas right here. So I'm just going to grab some white. And I'm grabbing Fluffy. And I'm going to punch in a cloud over that because I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's dark. And I'm just swirling Fluffy around with some white paint on him. Swirling Fluffy around with some white paint on him. Put a little cloud in there. And why don't we do a little cloud over here? Might as well do a little cloud over here, right? Why not? Do, 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 do. Throwing in some clouds in our sky. Just swirling my fluffy brush around, that's all. And I'm going to get rid of some of my excess paint. Alright, now we need some greenery. We need some greenery going on, so I'm going to grab some blue and some yellow. Blue and some yellow. Alright, let's throw in some trees. Alright, they're kind of far away. They're far away, so we don't care. We don't care what they look like. I'm just using my fluffy brush and I just grab some blue and some yellow. And we're just popping in some trees here in the distance. We don't know. We don't know. They're just here. They're just hanging out. Some evergreens. We're just going to throw some evergreens on this bad boy. Right? They're hanging out in the back. They're hanging out in the back. We don't know what they're doing. Up and down, all around. Just punching them in. We're just punching them in. That's all we're doing. Just punching in some trees. Right, little sideways motion, make some land. Just punching them in. Do, 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 do. Right, because we're going to have our cabins in the woods. We're going to have our cabins in the woods, and then I'm just going to go sideways to make some ground. We're going to make some ground. I'm just pushing all the paint sideways right now. That's all I'm doing. Just pushing it sideways. Do, 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 do. Sideways and across. Hello, 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 Elizabeth. How you doing, love? Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, sweetheart? Now I'm going to take a palette knife, and we're just going to throw in some little stems in here, right? I'm just scraping the palette knife through that green, throwing some stems in here, there, not everywhere, right? Do this while your paint is wet. It'll slice right through. Get some stems in here. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. So you guys can totally do this stuff at home. You guys can totally do this stuff. You missed us? I missed you too, Elizabeth. I'm glad that you chimed on tonight. Very, very glad. Alright, now I'm going to grab some, let's see. Let's grab some white, some red, some yellow. I don't know. I didn't clean my brush off, so we're going to get something. I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know what's going to come out. Just grab some white and green, and grab some red and some yellow, and I just put all sorts of colors on this brush, and I don't know. We're going to see what comes out of it. No idea. I have no idea what's going to come out. No idea. I just threw colors on my brush. I just grabbed some white, some red, and some yellow with my dirty brush. My dirty brush. And we're just going to see what's going to come out. We're just going to see what's going to come out. And I'm kind of digging what's coming out. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool looking, right? Looks like the grass is picking up some of the sun colors, right? Nice fall grass going on here. Do, 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 do. Just throwing that on there real fast. Hi, Gloria. Hello, 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 sweetheart. So, getting everybody a chance to pop on. All my latecomers. All my latecomers are popping on right now. All right. Grab some, let's see, go around our lake here. Right. Eventually, this is going to start making a brownish color. Right, fill this in, all in here. Do, 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 do. We're going to fill this in. Da, da, da. Looks like some burnt orange. It's happening. I don't know. I don't know. We just kind of just let it happen. I just let it happen, whatever it was. We just let it happen. Right? Bam. Just like that. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to put Fluffy away. I'm going to grab Big Boy. I'm going to grab Big Boy. I'm going to grab some black. Grab some black, and I'm going to put a little shoreline in here. Just going back and forth with Big Boy. I'm going to put in a little shoreline with my lake. Alright, just grab some black. That's all I did. That's all I did. I just grabbed some black paint, and I'm doing a little zigzag zoom action. That's a little zigzag zoom action, letting that black spread around. Mix in with the color that I had on the canvas already. Right? Just make a little shoreline going on there. Just like that. And we're going to swirl tap that Big Boy. And let's do our cabin. Let's do our cabin. You guys ready? Now that we have something for our cabin to sit in. Now that we have something for our cabin to sit in, let me do some roll call. Everyone paying attention. We got Tammy, an artist, and Tina B. Cynthia's in the house. Tina M. and Elizabeth. Hello, my friends, and I've missed you too, so hi. All right, so let's do our cabins. Okay, so we're going to do a side of a cabin. We're going to do a side of a cabin. Okay, so let's over here. Let's do one that's facing us directly, so we don't have to worry about its side walls or anything else. All we're going to see is the side of the cabin. So let me grab some black paint. I'm going to grab some little bit of black, a little bit of red, right? Some yellow in there, some white in there. And I'm not going to overmix it, see? I'm not going to overmix it. I'm just going to let it be all separate little colors. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to overmix it. Because, you know, I want it to look like wood eventually. And let's say in our world right here, we got somebody that lives right on the lake. So I am just going to pull my brush straight down. And when you don't overmix it, let me give you a close-up. When you don't overmix it, you get all of that happy fun stuff. See that happy fun stuff? See that? See the brush just making those colors happen for me? Making all that separation of color in there. And I'm not even working hard. I'm not even working hard. I just grabbed all of those colors and I am just putting them on my brush and onto my canvas without overmixing. Without overmixing. Alright, so I'm leaving all the colors to be separate. See on my brush how they're all separate? See that? They're all sorts of separate. Okay, and then when you go to put it onto your canvas, they will make all these separations. And you don't have to worry about making something look like wood, because just putting it on, it automatically looks like wood grain. Automatically looks like wood grain. And I'm just doing like, and then you leave it alone. What? Leave it alone. Hi, Diane. Oh, you joined so you can learn stuff. Yes, we're learning stuff. We're learning. So, you just leave it alone. And now I'm going to cut the bottom in there. All right? And I'm going to cut the top in there. And we got to put a roof on this bad boy. So I'm going to grab that mixture of colors again. See how it's all separate on my palette? See that? See how it's all separated? I didn't mix any of it together. And then I just put it on my brush the same way. All separate. So we don't have to worry about making any wood grain. And let's put a flat top roof on this sucker. So I'm just going to go across this way and down towards the house. Okay, cut this across. Shoop. Just like that. Shoop. And shoop. Okay, so now we put a nice little roof on that bad boy. Put a nice little roof. Just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So now I'm going to wipe the globs off my brush. I'm not going to clean it. I'm still not going to clean it, but I'm going to wipe the globs off of it. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab a little bit of black paint. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. See that? Just a smidge. And I'm going to come under here. And I'm just going to go where that line of the roof is. And I'm just going to pull down a little bit. Very light touch. What kind of touch? A light touch. Alright, so we're just going to pull this down. Alright, grab maybe a little bit more black. And I'm just going to do a very light touch right underneath here. Right underneath there. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull through there to get my shadow to travel down through the wood grain. See that, guys? So I put a tiny little bit of black on my brush. I'll come under here and I'm going to put the black right underneath that roof line. Right underneath that roof line. And then I'm going to wipe my brush off. And very lightly, I'm just going to pull it through. Very lightly, I'm going to pull it through. Okay? So, you guys catch up mustard with that. Those of you that are practicing along with me. And that is how you would put your shadow in underneath your roof. So just like that, bada bing, you guys got some wood grain and you got a shadow for your roof, and lickety split, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Nothing to it there. So catch up mustard a little bit. Practice with your flat brush. I use Big Boy. He's a 1-inch flat. Practice just throwing some colors onto your palette. Just throwing some colors together. Leaving them separated. And then just pull with your flat brush and let it do all the work for you. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Nothing hard there. And then you use the tiniest amount of black paint. And you just pull down. You wipe your brush off and then pull it through the rest of the cabin. You see that? That wasn't hard at all. And it looks cool. But I didn't do any work. Did you see me do any work? We didn't do any work. There was no work there. Okay, now we're just going to fix our roof line, because obviously I didn't stay in the lines. I never stay in the lines. When do I ever stay in the lines? Hello, hello, hello. I see lots of hearts. Hello, everybody. Alright, so I'm going to grab that separated wood color stuff I have, and I'm going to mix it all together now. We're going to mix it. Kelly's here. Hello, hello, hello. Right, I'm going to hold my brush back here. I'm going to hold it straight onto my canvas, and I'm going to go very quickly. Faster I go, straighter my line will be. And we're going to cut that roof line in. We're going to cut that roof line in so it's nice and even all the way across. Shoop, just like that. Just like that. Hello, 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 Kelly. How you doing? Alright, and let's say there's a window, right? Why not? There's a window in our cabin. Alright, so I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to give it a little swirl tap dab. Hello, 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 sweetie. And let's grab some black and white. We're going to grab some black. And we're going to grab some white. Do a little dab on my palette. Alright, so I'm grabbing some black, I'm grabbing some white. Still using the 1-inch brush. Still using Big Boy here. You forgot. How could you forget me, Kelly? What's up with that? Right? So I'm going to do a little smush smush here. Right? A little smush smush on my palette. And then I'm going to hold my brush up here now. And I'm just going to go shwoomp. Just like that. Shwoomp. Okay? And we got a window right there. Bam. Okay? And let's put a window over here. Shwoomp. Shwoomp. Just like that. You got to make the sound effects. It makes it work better. And I'm going to cut it across. Follow my brush along. Cut this across. Shwoomp. Shwoomp. Okay? And we got ourselves two little windows. Two little windows going on our cabin. Alright, easy peasy lemon squeezy cabin going on. And put Big Boy in the water. And I'm going to get out Mini-Me. Mini-Me is a small shader brush. Right, he looks just like Big Boy except he's tiny. So I'm going to grab my Mini-Me. Okay, there he is. Hello, 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 Kelly. How you doing, sweetheart? And we're going to put our window frame in. So, I'm going to grab that brown from before, but I'm going to make it lighter. I'm going to make it lighter, so I'm going to mix some white with it. So I'm going to grab my white, and I'm going to grab that brown from before. Okay, I'm going to do a little mush mush over here. Make sure it's coming out lighter. Alright. Fill my brush up. Hold this like a pencil. And I'm going to cut across. And then I'm going to move over here. And I'm going to cut across this one. Okay. And notice I just slid my hand over so I have them at the same height. I just slid my hand over. Okay. And we're going to do the tops. Right? So, because I'm resting my hand on my easel. I'm resting my hand on my easel. And then I'm just going to slide it over. Not moving anything. So I can line that up. Alright? So just slide your hand over so you can line that up. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, everybody. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay? I'm going to grab some more. I'm going to wipe my brush off. Because if there's globs on my brush, there's going to be globs on my painting. So I'm going to wipe my brush off. Grab some more paint. Now I'm going to come down the sides. Shoop. And come down this side. Shoop. And we're going to come down this side. Shoop. And that side's off the canvas. So I don't know where that side is. Alright. Grab some more paint. And we gotta turn around, and I'm gonna put a little cross hatch in between. Alright, I'm gonna put a little wooden cross thing in between my windows here. So I'm gonna go across again, move my arm, cross again, and then we're gonna go down, swoop, and we're gonna go down, swoop. Okay, and then with this lighter color on my brush, I want to do a little zigzag zoom in my roof here. I'm going to do a little zigzag zoom in my roof here. Maybe the sun is catching my roof, right? So I'm going to do a little zigzag zoom action. You see that? We're going to do a little zigzag zoom with the lighter brown. Here, there, not everywhere. Here, there, not everywhere. And if you notice, I'm keeping the same angle. I'm moving my arm, not the brush, to keep the same angle. Right? And I'm just putting a little whatevers. Some whatevers. We get very technical here at Eve's Creations, don't we? We're just going to put some whatevers going on my roof. Give it a little bit of texture. Give it a little bit of texture. Why not, right? We don't know. Maybe the sun's hitting it. Who knows? Who knows? Just give it a little something, something. A little something, something. Maybe it's weathered and beat up and a big mess. Right? Who knows? And then I got a little too much in this part, so I'm going to grab that original dark color. And I'm just going to slice that in now. So I'm grabbing the original color now. And I'm going to put that here, there, not everywhere. I'm just going to put that in. Because maybe I wound up with some parts that were a little too light, right? So we're going to just put this in here. This is the original color. I'm going to put some of that back in here. I'm going to grab my lighter color. Alright, just added white to the original. That's all I did. And put some more of those in here. And I'm just zigzag zooming. That's all I'm doing. Just doing a little zigzag zoom. Making stuff happen. Nothing special. Nothing special. Just putting that in. Easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. Okay. And the last thing I want to do is I want to put in a little bit of highlight in my windows, because it might be like glass reflecting, right? So it's going to be glass reflecting. Now you guys can have as much fun with this as you want. If you want to put little window boxes on there, you can put little window boxes, maybe some flowers in the window boxes, whatever you want to do. Hi Shameen, how you doing, love? Hello, 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 Shameen. Hello, 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 everybody. So tonight we are practicing cabins. We got Tammy and Artis and Tina B and Tina M and Cynthia's here and Elizabeth and Kelly and Shamim's hanging out. We're all having fun as a fam. I hope everybody's learning some stuff. Right? We're going to learn stuff. And, you know, if you're hanging out being a watcher or if you're practicing along with me, if you have any questions, 6,000% ask me. Tonight is cabins. What? It is 7 o'clock for me here. Actually, it's about 7:30 now, Shamim. So I start at 7 o'clock my time. Every single time. So, I'm going to grab that mini-me. I'm going to swirl tap dab him. Where did he go? Oh, here he is. I lost him in my cup. So, I'm grabbing mini-me. I'm going to swirl tap dab him. And I'm going to grab a microscopic amount of white paint. See that? Microscopic amount. And I'm just going to go into my windows again, zigzag zooming. Alright, tiny right there, a little bit bigger in the square part, and then tiny again. Okay, tiny right there, a little bit bigger in the square part, tiny again. Okay, oh, it's midnight there. What? Gracie in the house. Welcome to the fam, Gracie. Hello. It's midnight where you're at, Shamim? Wow. Burning the midnight oil. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Gracie in the house. Everybody give Gracie a big fam hello. Welcome to the fam, Gracie. We practice every Tuesday together. Every Tuesday. So, I'm just doing a little wiggle. A little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. A little wiggle. Bigger and smaller. That's all. Hello, sweetheart. So, everybody give Gracie a big fam welcome. Hello. Alright, so just putting couple little refractions. I'm just putting a couple little refractions. That's what we're doing, refractions. Get this thing to talk. So, hello everybody. It's always free to watch. Welcome. Tips are appreciated. I will post those links now while you guys are catch-up mustering. And, I hope everybody's learning some stuffs, okay? Because we're doing cabins. That's what we're doing. So, you could put blades of grass or little bushes. Let's do little bushes at the bottom there, all right? Let's throw in a couple little bushes at the bottom there. Why not? So, I'm going to grab medium-sized fluffy. I'm going to grab a medium-sized fluffy, and I'm going to grab some blue, and I'm going to grab some yellow, grab a tiny little bit of white. I'm going to smash it all into my fluffy brush, and we're just going to tap in. We're going to tap in some bushes here. Just going to tap them in. So this way, if you messed up the bottom of your cabin, you messed it up, you could always cover it with something, right? You could always cover it with a little something. So I'm going to do a couple little bushes. Right? So we practice on Tuesdays and we do a painting on Fridays. That's how we work around here. So I'm going to do some bushes in there. And I'm going to grab some Just Blue now. Grab some Just Blue. Pop in some blue on these bad boys. Right? Just tap in some blue spots. Maybe they have blue little flowers on them. I don't know. Alright, going to do some of that. And then I'm going to take my mini-me, if I can find them in my cup. You keep getting lost in my cup. Mini-me does not want to be found tonight. I'm going to grab my mini-me, and I'm going to grab a microscopic amount of black paint. And we're just going to go in and out of these bushes here, create some shadow. Gonna go in and out of these bushes here. Little zigzag zoom. Creating a little bit of shadow. Right? Bushes are gonna create a little bit of a shadow, so we'll just zigzag zoom a little bit of that in there. And there we go. We got a happy little cabin next to the lake. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be, right? So, since I mentioned the lake, I'm just going to grab some white paint and put in some water lines on my lake. Put some water lines in on my lake. So I'm going to grab some white paint with Mini-Me, and I'm just going to go along the coastline here. Again, zigzag zoom. I'm going to do my water lines, right? Because Cynthia said sure about doing some other pieces in this painting. Let's put our cabins, like, let's put them somewhere. Where do we want to be, right? I want to be hanging out. I want to be hanging out in this fall meadow here with my lake. We're just going to hang out and chill next to the lake, right? Maybe have a nice cup of coffee or maybe a glass of wine. Be chilling. Have something cooking on the stove in the cabin. Why not, right? Why not? Let's do it. I'm going to put some water lines in my lake. Right? Just zigzag zooming, just doing a little play. I know it's cabins tonight, but I figured why not do a little scenery real quick. Right, guys? You guys know how to do most of this stuff if you've been painting with me. You know how to do most of this stuff. This isn't nothing new to any of you guys. Alright, so let's do a tree, and then we'll do our other cabin by the tree. Alright, so I'm going to swirl tap that big boy as you guys catch up mustard with your cabins. If you have any questions, let me know. So I'm going to swirl tap that big boy, and I'm going to grab some of that brown that I made with my black. Some black and brown. Just tap it into my brush a little bit. Make sure I have a nice thin flat edge. I'm going to hold my brush back here and right here. Let's put them right here. Zoom. Right? Drop in the tree real fast. Drop in the tree real fast. Why not? Big old tree in the middle of our meadow. Put a big old tree in here. Right? Let's put our next cabin hanging out at the tree. Right? And if you get a thick branch, you make this thicker, that thicker, this thicker. Right? You just make it thicker going backwards. If you wind up with a thick branch, you just go thicker, thicker, thicker. Make this thicker, that thicker, trunk thicker. That's how you make your trees proportional. Okay, so let's throw a cabin. Now this one's going to be tricky because we're going to show the two sides of the cabin. So remember how much fun we had making those 3D cubes when we did our truck? Guess what, guys? It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing, okay? So I'm going to grab Big Boy. I'm going to swirl tap dab him. I'm going to wipe him off. I ran out of that brown color, so I'm just going to make some more. No! Right, Tina B? I know. Right? But if we want to learn how to do stuff 3D, that's why we practice it. So I'm grabbing more red. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue this time. I'm going to grab some yellow. I'm going to grab that white. Okay, and I'm going to smush, smush, smush. Now my brown's looking a little green, so I'm going to add some more red to it. Alright, going to add some more red to it. Alright, because it's looking a little green, so let's add some more red to that. And I'm trying not to overmix this because I want that separation of color. Right, we want that separation of color, so you don't want to overmix this, but you want to make sure you're going to get a brown. Alright, so I'm going to grab some more blue, some more white, and toss this in here, and let's see if we start getting closer to brown. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe some more red, some more yellow. Alright, because I don't want this over mixed. I want the separation of the colors, but I want it in the brown family. If you notice, I'm just kind of pushing just to make sure I'm getting the brown color. All right. So this one's kind of over mixed, so we might not be able to do the same trick that we did before, but we'll try it. All right. So you're gonna make a square. Okay, so make yourself a square. All right, make yourself a square. And then, off of that square, and you want to keep these all the same angles. So you're going to go swoop, and then you're going to lift your brush up and go swoop, and have it the same angles. Okay, so you want it to have the same angle on both of those lines. The same angle on both of those lines. I'm going to add a little white to this so you can see what I'm doing. So I made a square. Alright, and I'm just adding some white paint so you can see what I did. Because it's kind of hard to see on my background. So I made a square. Just like that. Okay, and then I turned around off the corners of that square, and I went up this way, and then I want to keep that same angle, so I hold my brush this way, and then I'm just going to move the brush down and do that this way. You want it to be the same angle or pretty close. Okay, and then you just fill that in. Just fill that in. Okay, so that's how you would get the side. And if you want the side, like say you wanted it on the other side, you could have just did it the other way. And then your corners have to match up. Right? And, you know, the more you play with this, you could fix your edges. You know, we're going to color this in, so we're going to fix all our edges and everything else. So, for the roof, you're going to go into the center of your square. So find the center of your square, find your center, all right, and put a dot. Make your triangle, all right? And then your line for your roof, you could fill this in if you want to. All right, let's fill that in. Okay, and then your line for your roof has to follow this same line. See how we did it this way and this way? So then the roof line has to do the same thing. Okay? Has to do the same thing. So your roof line will have to make the same angle. Alright, and then you could fill that in. So it has to be the same angle as the rest of it. Alright? So, what did I do? I'll show you again. I'll show you what I did. Okay, guys? So, and I'll show you in white paint. So the first thing I did was make a square. That's the first thing I did, was make the square. And then I turned around, and off the two corners of the square, I went swoop. Then I held my brush at that same angle and went up and did this one, swoop. So you get the same angle on your lines. Okay? And then I found the center of this square and put a dot. Made my triangle. Right? And then the last thing I did was follow this line. Right? So if you want to train your hand a little bit, you just angle, angle, angle. Same exact angle. And this way you can get the side of the cabin. Now mine is pretty extreme. You can do less of an angle. Okay? You can do this a little more shallow like if you want to. Right? Now I'm just going to fix this. So this way, when we fill it in, you can see what I'm doing. When we fill it in. Alright? So we're just going to color this in. Right? Just color this in. And if you notice my brush strokes, I'm doing these all at the same angle this triangle was. So where this triangle side is right here, this triangle side right there, you're going to do your brush strokes the same way. Okay, guys? You're going to do your brush strokes the same way. Alright, so I'll give you guys a chance to catch up mustard. And no worries, if you're off a little bit as we're filling it in and coloring it in, you could fix any lines or angles that you might be off a little bit. It's all good, no worries there. Alright, so, you know, if you do a barn or whatever, you can do it the same way. If you guys have any questions, ask me. Alright, catch up mustard with that. Get your shape in. Wasn't as hard as when we did the truck. That's for sure. That is for sure. Not that hard as when we did the truck. And that's how you do that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, guys. Not too difficult. And you can do this type of cabin anywhere. You can do it like over here, and then you would do your side going this way instead. But it's the same rules. Like if you put it here, then you'd have your lines going that way. So it would be the same rules, but this is how you get the two-sided cabins. This is how you would get the two-sided cabins. So if I wanted to do another one, say facing the same way, maybe this guy is all the way in the back, right? So I'm going to grab my smaller brush. I'm going to grab a little 1/2 inch flat, right? And I'm going to grab that white with my brown. Grab the white with my brown and say, let's say all the way back here somewhere. All the way back here somewhere is another cabin, right? So I'm going to do my square. I'm going to do my square. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little less of an angle. So see how this angle was all the way like that? I'm going to do a little less of an angle. So this angle is very steep. You see that? But you can do less of an angle. You don't have to go as steep. So I'm going to do one there and one there, following the same angle as best as I can. Right? Put my line going down. So you don't have to do it as steep. Okay? And then with my square, I'm going to find the center of my square and put my dot. Then do my triangle. Okay? And then, so I have this line. Notice I just moved my hand up. So I followed this line. I moved my hand up. Followed this line. Now I'm going to move my hand up and follow that same line. Right? And then this side just comes down. Right? And now if you come down from your line and it was too long, like I just did, it was a little too long, I could just put the straight line down from the house. Okay? So you can do it going the other direction too. Right? And if you wound up overextending the side of your house, just put a new side to your house. It's not a big deal. Okay? So let me show you that with just the white paint. Or, you know what? I want to show you with just black paint. Alright? Because we're going to make this one a little darker. So I'm going to grab just black paint. I'm just showing you how I did it. You guys don't have to grab the black. So I made my square. Made my square. Okay. Let me give you a close-up. Alright, so I made my square. And then I put my dot in the center of that square. Make my little triangle. Okay. And then I go at an angle. Alright, this one's the same angle. And then this one's the same angle. Okay. Connect your roof lines. Now this line is the same as this one. So you're going to do this one over here. Is like this. So you bring your brush back and do this one the same way. Okay. And then you just drop it straight down on the side. Alright, just like that. And if you wind up like, you know, you follow this angle here, and then you go over here to do the same angle off of this, if you wind up past the back line of your house, just make your house a little longer. It's okay. It's no worries there. You guys can totally do that. So that would be how to do the back end of this. Okay, so this line would be straight up and down, and the back line of the roof would follow this line right here, right there. Okay, so it takes a little finagling, it takes a little, you know, you got to get your angles right. I always just train my hand and follow the angles I did before. Hi, Kim. Hello, 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 sweetheart. So I just follow the angles that I did before. That's all I did. Okay, so take a chance to catch up mustard if you're practicing along. That's fine. So we'll have another little cabin back there. Alright, easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Not too hard. I'll bring this out so you can see both the cabins here. Okay. And now we're just going to do the details and the wood and everything else on our cabins. Hi, sweetheart. Alright, so let's, I'm going to take Big Boy out again. And let's do the, hi, Jude. Hello, hello, hello. Everybody give hello a big warm welcome to Jude. Welcome to the fam, Jude. Yes. Hi, so we have Jude and Gracie coming in. Welcome to the fam, guys. We're doing our practice session tonight. That's what Tuesdays are all about. All right, so let's take out our big boy. Roll tap dab them. And I'm going to grab that brown paint. I'm going to put some of that on my brush. And I want to grab a little bit of black, just a smidge. Just like microscopic amount. See that? And I'm just going to do a tap tap. And see how it's all separated on my brush a little bit? Hello, hello, hello. All right, and I'm going to come and you got to follow your brush strokes, okay? So these are going to go straight down. Swoop, swoop, swoop. And you see how I put that black on the corner of my brush? It's making like planks for me without even really trying. So I'm going to grab my brown, and then I'm going to put that little bit of black on my brush. Right on the corner. I'm going to do a little smush smush. And we're just going to drop straight down. Bam. Bam. Just like that. Right? Now cut it. Right? Cut it with your bottom. There we go. Okay. And then the same thing for the front. Now, when I cut it for the bottom, I wound up obviously going past my line because you guys know me. I don't color in the line, so I'm just going to make the front of my house a little longer. That's all. I never color in my lines. Not something I do. Okay. Follow these down. Right? Kind of looks like planks. And then I should leave it alone. Okay. And then I'm just going to take black. I'm going to take black like its end posts are in black. So I'm going to just put black on my brush. And I'm just going to drop this down. Shoop. Just like that. And I'm going to drop this down. Shoop. Just like that. Put that in, those in there. I'll cut across the bottom. Shoop. Okay, I'm going to cut up this way. Shoop. Right? So, this way it's kind of framed in black. Why not? Why not? It's my cabin. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. It's my cabin and I'll do what I want. Right? Now I got to make the roof. So I'm going to grab white with it now. I'm going to grab some white with my brown. So grab a little bit of white, do my tap tap that I did. See? Okay? And now you got to follow the angle doing your roof, right? So you follow this angle. Follow that angle. Doing your roof. Okay? And follow that angle. Right? Cut it across. Shoot. Clean that line up a little bit. Right, I'm going to put my black in for my triangle. So I'm going to grab some black paint. Cut my triangle in. Go to my brown. Grab my brown paint. I'm going to put this in going straight down. Straight down. Okay, do my black planks. Swoop. And swoop. Right? This down here, this way. Alright, fix up my edges a little bit. Now I got to put that shadow in where the roof was. You guys remember how I did that, right? We just grabbed some, I got the brown on my brush still. And I'm going to grab the smallest amount of black. Hey, Lisa! Hello, hello, hello! How you doing, lovey? So, I'm going to grab that small amount of black on my brush from before. And I'm going to do the shadow under the roof, okay? So I'm going to follow along that roof line, and I'm just going to pull. I'm just going to put the black in. And then I gotta wipe my brush off. That was a little too much black on my brush, but that's okay. That's alright. I'm just gonna spread it down a little bit further. So I'm gonna wipe my brush off now. And I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna pull. Swoop. I'm just gonna pull down to feed it through. And I'm doing an extra little rubby rub here because it was a little, I put a little too much black on there. So I'm doing an extra little rubby rub to blend it out. Okay, so, but this is with a cleaned off brush. Okay, so put that in there. Right? And just make sure your edges are nice and clean. Right? Just like that. Now we got the shadow on the side of our house there. There we go. And let's give our cabin a door. Alright, so I'm going to grab my, my brown paint here with the black. Right, make a nice dark door. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to boop and boop. Maybe this is like a big old barn on the property, right? Let's just make this into like a big old barn. Why not? Right? Put a big old like barn-sized door on there. The guy that lives by the lake has a big old barn on his property for his horses and his cows and his whatnot. So we'll put a big old barn door on there. Alright, and then we could do the little barn window right here, up in here, right? It's always like a little square window. Right, just one. So we'll put that on there. Just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys, right? You guys got this. You can totally do this. You can totally do this. So, Lisa's in the house saying hello, hello, hello. She had stuffs going on today, so she just made it in. Kelly forgot all about us, but she's here now. That's what I'm talking about. The Tinas are in the house. Tina Square, Tina B, and Tina M's hanging out. We got Jude and Gracie joining us tonight for, you know, just starting to be with the fam, which is cool beans, cool stuff, right? So we got that going on. And I'm going to grab myself large fluffy. I'm going to grab myself large fluffy and add some fall foliage to my tree. Alright, so I'm going to swirl tap dab my large fluffy here. And I'm going to, you still haven't finished Friday's painting? That's okay. So I'm going to grab some red with a little bit of white, because you know red doesn't show up without its friend white. So I'm going to grab some red here. And so now this branch is hanging over my house. So I'm going to turn around and put that foliage right over the roof of my house like that. Alright, so we're going to add some of this. Some of this, some of that. Fill this all in. Okay, and I'm just dabbing away. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing is just dabbing away here. Alright, because we got a big old fall tree here. Just some red and white paint. Just some red and white paint for now. And I put that foliage right over my barn. Because that tree branch is going right over the top of the barn here. So I'm just tapping this in for now. And of course I'm going to have to add other layers to it. So I'll do that as we're going along. Thank you, Gracie. Yeah, it's a how-to on cabins tonight. But I figured, what the heck, we might as well do a little scene. We might as well do a little scene while we're at it. Right? Instead of just painting cabins, let's give them a home. Okay, so now with that done, I'm going to finish putting the details on my door and my window. So we need to, I'm going to grab Mini-Me again. Mini-Me, where'd you go? There it is. Okay. Yep, just a couple of taps. That's all it takes. And I'm going to grab some white paint with that brown. Right, make it lighter. Hello, Lisa K. How you doing, sweetheart? Yep, leaf foliage. Just a few taps with a fluffy brush. Lisa K is in the house. We have another Lisa on deck. What? Say hello to Lisa K. Yes, my replays are always available, Lisa. And I post the link on the event page. So, I got that light brown in here, so I'm going to frame out my window. I'm going to frame out my window up here, my little barn window. And frame out the big doors. How you doing, sweetheart? Everybody give a warm hello to Lisa K. Welcome to the fam, guys. Welcome to the fam. Right, so I'm going to do my door there. Alright. And notice I just dropped my hand. Nice. I love it. I love it. Yep, Tuesdays is always practice. Fridays is a painting. So, notice I just dropped my hand. There you go. There you go. That totally works. Notice I just dropped my hand down to do my straight lines, right? And the quicker I drop my hand, the quicker I'll have those lines. So, that's all you need to do, guys. Alright? You just let the gravity do the work for you. Just put your brush on the canvas and then just drop your hand to do straight lines. That's it. That's all you need to do. So that totally worked out. Now, I'm going to grab, since this is a barn, I'm going to grab some white paint. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do some flicks. Like there's hay coming out of here. So I'm going to grab my white paint first and map it out. And then add the yellow to it later. Okay? And then, of course, you could always turn around and let's take Fluffy and add some bushes around this barn. Why not? Alright, so we'll take Fluffy and add some bushes around this guy. So if you ever mess up your bottom lines, if you ever mess any of this up, just put some bushes. Just some bushes and some trees and whatnot. So I'm going to grab my blue. And I'm going to grab my yellow. And I'm going to grab some white over here that's getting all dirty. And so this turned around to be perfect for you guys. 6,000%. So I'm going to smush that all into my brush. And I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to tap in. I'm going to tap in some bushes on the side here. And this one's wrapping around the corner to the front. And we'll tap one in over here. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Mini-Me with a little bit of black paint and do a little zigzag zoom. Because these bushes are going to create a shadow. So we're going to do a little zigzag zoom underneath the bush. Microscopic amount of black paint, guys. Not a lot at all. Right. Soften that out. Okay. Then we got to get the guy on the other side here. Alright, we got to add the shadow to the guy on the other side. Right, my favorite blending tool. Get the guy on the other side. Right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. You guys could do this. I mean, you see the paint parties all the time with the barns and the trees and the bushes and the whatnots. It's very simple to do. It's not hard at all. You guys can totally do all of this stuff. Okay. So, now we got to turn around and work on that guy in the background. So I'll give you guys all a chance. Those of you painting along with me, I'll give you a chance to catch up mustard. While you're doing that, I'm going to grab my fluffy brush and add some more foliage to my tree. So I'm going to swirl tap dab my fluffy brush. Do, 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 do. So now we got Lisa scared. Lisa squared. We got another Lisa in the house. Oh, I also want to remind you guys, all of my videos are kid friendly. You guys do so well with your comments with that. I got to watch this thing sometimes too. And they're always, always free to watch. So tips are appreciated. I'll post those links again. And also, if anybody sends me any support, if you can't do any support monetarily, share away. That totally supports me too. But those of you who send me any support, I give away free little detail brushes. They're called Mr. Nifties. So make sure I have your address and I will send your Mr. Nifties out. Because they're awesome and they work great. So I'm just going to grab, I got to get some clean white here. So I'm just going to, while you guys are ketchup mustard and adding the details to your barn, I'm going to grab some white and some yellow. And I'm going to add that to my tree. Here, there, not everywhere. Here, there, not everywhere. Okay, guys? Just a little tap, tap. Here, there, not everywhere. Onto where the barn is. Just like that. And I'm just using, those of you that are doing all the background stuff with me, I'm just using white and yellow. White and yellow. Here, there, not everywhere. Just tapping this in. Just tapping this in. And then I'm going to grab my red. I'm going to grab my red. I need more red. I need more red on my palette. So I'm just going to grab my red now and tap in some more red. Right, here, there, not everywhere. Right, I'm just going to tap this in. Make my red spots a little darker. So, just tapping in the red, that's all I'm doing. Wherever I had the red before, because red always needs a few coats. So, we're just tapping that in. And I'll switch back to my white and my yellow. Right, get a little mixture going on. Right, so this way we have some dark, we have some light, we have some yellow, we have some white. We've got all sorts of stuff going on in our tree. Right, pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty, 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 pretty's going on here with our pretty fall colors. Fill this in. Okay, and since you guys all ketchup mustard, we're going to finish up the other cabin. And that'll be that. So if you guys have any questions for me, 6,000% ask them. If you want to know more about making trees, there's a how-to on trees in my videos already. There's all sorts of stuff going on. Okay? And this is pretty much dry, so I can add my yellow to my hay. So, hay. So let's add the yellow to my hay here. Alright, So when you say date night, Lisa, does that mean your partner is painting with you? You gotta let me know their name. I could give a shout out. I'm gonna grab a microscopic amount of red and add that to my hay too. So it's a little more on the orange side than the yellow side. So I'm going to add that in. There, Carl! Hello, Carl! hello, sweetheart. Hi! So, Carl's in the house, everybody. All the ladies go, woo-hoo! Carl's here. Alright, so we're going to finish this guy up. So you happen to hit the practice session where I'm actually doing kind of a painting. Usually I just do the object and we're good to go. So we got to finish this guy up back here. So I'm going to grab my half-inch flat brush. And we're going to grab some of black with that brown paint. Black and brown. Right, do a little dab on the side here, but don't over mix it, so we get the separation, right? And I'm gonna hold this like a pencil, and I'm gonna go straight down, swoop, let gravity do the work, swoop, 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 right? Cut it across, okay? And I'm gonna go straight down on my roof here, swoop. Straight down on the other side, fill that in. Okay, and then we got to go down the side of it. I'm going to grab some extra black. We're going to go down the side here, straight down. Right, I'm pulling straight down. Just like that. And then cut your bottom, which we're going to probably cover up with some bushes or trees or something. And I'm going to grab some white with that brown to do the roof. And remember, follow your angle. Follow your angle. Right? Follow that angle. Cut it across. Okay, and you can hang it over. You can hang it over a little bit. You don't have to stop directly at the house line. If you guys noticed, I let the roof hang over a little bit. See that? So I just went further with my lines, and it's hanging over a little bit over here too. You see that? And then what you want to do, since it's hanging over, okay, so you can do a little hangover. A little hangover. Hangover a good way. Right, so I have this line here hanging over like that. I'll do it a little lighter so you can see it. See that? That's kind of hanging over my edge there. And on the back it's hanging over the edge there. And then on the other side, so on this side, you want to have this piece hanging over too. So you want to add it in on that side. You want to add it in on this side. Okay, so if you're going to do a little hanging over the edge there, you want to make sure that you add it in on the other side. Okay, just like that. And now we got to add some windows and some doors and some whatnots. Okay, guys? So we can add a little, since we did the hangover, let me do it a little more extreme and I'll show you how to put a porch. How's that sound? Oh, yeah. That sounds like a good idea, Eve. That sounds like a great idea. Talking to myself. So I'm going to grab that white and that brown paint again. And we're going to extend this out even further. Okay, we're going to extend this out even further. So I'm going to put that all the way out to there. Cool beans, right? Let's add a porch. So I'm going to put that all the way out to there. And then this one has to match. So I'm going to put that all the way out to there. Like that. Right? Because this guy's got to match the other guy. Alright, so we're going to pull that all the way out. And I'm just going to go through my roof one more time because this color is a little different than the original color. Alright, cut it. Let's cut it in. There we go. Alright, now we want to do a porch, so I'm going to grab Mr. Nifty. I'm going to grab Mr. Nifty, and I'm going to grab some black paint with that brown. Make it nice and dark, because in here, this porch is going to be in the shadows. This part of the roof is going to be in the shadow, so I want to make this darker. So I grabbed some black paint with the brown, and I'm just doing a little fill-in with it being darker. Okay, so you want to make sure you get that side of the porch in, and then make it a little darker than the rest of it. Whoop! Fumble! Fumble! Drop Mr. Nifty. Cool beans. Alright, so we're going to fill this part in darker right there. Fill this in darker. There it is. There it is. Alright. So that part of the roof needs to be darker. And now we want to do our posts. Alright, so I'm going to grab some black paint, just straight up black. And we're going to bring our post down, swoop, right from that corner, and one from this corner, swoop, straight down like that. And then you're going to, remember that angled line right here? So you're going to extend that out now at the same angle as the line for the house. Extend that out. And then this one is going to follow the same angle coming out. And then you're going to do this angle, this line right here. It's going to be the same line right there. Okay. It's going to be the same line right there. And now I'm going to grab my brown paint and I'm going to fill in the top of the porch here. So I'm going to fill this in here, and don't forget this little piece right in there hiding. And I just covered up my post, but that's okay. I could put it back in. So I'm going to grab my black paint, put my post back into that corner. Grab the black paint, put that back in, clean up the side here. Right, we'll clean up the side there, right here. Right, clean up the side in the front. Pull that across. And just like that, you can put a porch on your cabins. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You're just following these lines out. And you want to make sure this line's the same angle too. You extend your porch out past the front of your house. And you put in your posts. Okay? And then you want to make sure that the part that's under the roof is darker. So this will be really dark right in here. And then the top part of the house will be really dark right in that triangle. So you want to add some dark to the top part of the house here too. And I'm going to take Mini-Me and I'm going to blend that out. So I'm going to take Mini-Me and blend this out. Right, because we want that darker too. So this is all going to be darker. And I keep losing that post, so I'm going to have to put it back in again. I keep losing that one post. So I will put that back in again. As soon as I make the front side of the house a little darker. And then I'm going to do the frame. So we're going to frame the house in. Now I'm going to put that post back. So should we wait and start next Tuesday since we missed today? You can watch anytime on your own if you'd like, Lisa. All my replays are always available. And next Tuesdays I do practice sessions, so it might not be a full painting like this one. It might just be a practicing of something, but you can look on the event page and you can find out on the event page what's going on for Tuesday. Because I don't always do a full painting on Tuesdays. I do practice sessions of learning how to paint certain things. So that is up to you. But you could always watch my replays because those are always available. This Friday is going to be a vampire. I didn't finish it yet, but we're going to do a vampire. So that's going to be on Friday. Alright, so I'm going to take Mini-Me here with my black paint. And we're going to put the shadow under the roof here. So I'm just going to go across with this because I don't want it that big. And then I'm going to wipe off my brush. Yes, we've been doing Halloween ones a couple weeks now. So last Friday, so I wiped off my brush and now I'm just pulling this down through the cabin. Last Friday was Wolfman. And then the Friday before that was zombies. And then what else did we do? Oh, and the Friday before that we did Witch is Cauldron, and it had a haunted house and a tree with spooky critters, and it had all this other stuff in there. It had a cemetery. It had all sorts of stuff. Yes, so I'm putting in all the dark shadows in here like we did on the other cabins because this one's far away, so it's going to be darker. And now we got to do our door. So I'm going to grab my brown paint from before and let's put our door in. Right, there's my point. So here's my center. Okay, so here is our door. Okay, and then maybe some windows, right? So when you do the lines for your windows, you got to follow the same angle, everybody. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one there. And then here. And here, you got to follow that same angle when you do your windows. All right, and then straight down. You got to make sure that your windows are following that same angle as the walls and the roof. Okay, so yes, I'm on YouTube, sweetheart. I have a YouTube channel. I can post that for you. They changed buttons on me. Hi guys, hello everybody. They changed some buttons on me, so some of the newer videos aren't on there, but you can see all of my previous videos for the how-tos anyway. So this is my YouTube link. Hi everybody, hello. We're doing cabins, yes. Okay, so when you do this cabin, when you do your windows, you want to make sure your lines line up, and even the crosshatch line, right? Even this line has to follow the same angle. Everything has to follow that same angle that you did before. Yep, so there you go. There's my YouTube. And then this is straight down, and then this is straight down. So you want to make sure you're following the same angle as everything else. And now I'm going to frame these guys out. So I'm going to grab my white paint with Mr. Nifty and my brown and make a lighter brown color. So I'm grabbing white with that brown with Mr. Nifty here, my detailing brush, and I'm going to frame out, right, following those same angles that we made before with the floor. I'm going to frame out my windows. Okay, so there's one. And we're going to frame out the other one. So there is two. Okay, and we might as well frame out my door. So I'm just grabbing white and the brown that we made before and using my little detailed brush. Using my little detail brush here. And I want to do my X's in the frame color too. Even though I just did them in black, I'm going to do them again in this color because that makes more sense. So we'll put those in. And I'm going to frame out my door. So there's my door. Just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, guys. Nothing really hard here. Nothing really hard. And then you could always add. So I'm going to take Mini-Me. And I'm going to add that texture to the roof like we did on our first cabin. So I'm going to take Mini-Me and I'm going to grab some of that white with that brown. And I am going to put some of that. Now I'm just pulling. I'm just doing quick little pulls. I'm putting my brush on and pulling real fast. Pull, pull, pull. Okay, and if you notice, very little paint. Okay, and I'll grab some more paint. And I'm going to put it on the edge here, and I'm just going to pull. Following that same angle with these lines, guys. It's all about keeping that angle. Right? All about keeping that angle. Put that in. Alright? And so there you guys have it. We did, I can't figure out buttons too well either, Kim. So, I'm in the same ballpark as you. So let's pull this out all the way. And there's all your cabins, my friends. So obviously you guys can add your little bushes or your trees or whatever if you did the scenery along with me. If you have any questions, 6,000% ask me. I'm gonna accentuate this cloud some more that's back here, and I'm gonna turn around and probably add a few more things and make this practice session into an actual painting. Why not, right? Might as well. And let's say goodbye to everybody. So Lisa and Lisa K and Tammy and Artist and Tina B and Cynthia and Tina M and Elizabeth and Kelly and Shamim and Gracie and Jude and Kim. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And this Friday, we're going to do Vampire. I should get that finished up by tonight to be able to post the event. So, same bat channel, same bat place, just on Fridays. Always free to watch. Tips are appreciated. Anybody that sends me a tip will get the detailed brushes for free. I send out 2 of those. So, to everybody that's new to the fam, I hope you had a good time, and I hope you learned some stuff so you can turn around and make your own paintings and have your creations be that much better. And those of you who have been with me forever, I love you, and I hope you are able to learn some stuff to help you with your paintings. And next week we'll practice something else. If there's anything you guys ever want to paint or practice, 6,000%, let me know. And I will put it on the list. It will go on the list because I have some how-tos. I figured we're going to do, I'm going to show you fences and like wood grain. So that's going to be one of them. I have animal eyes. I have bridges. I have planes. I have how to do clothes. So I have a few things on the list here. You guys wanted to have me go over palette knives. So you want to do that. Lisa, I have a how-to the sun. So it might be on the YouTube channel. I go over how to the sun. Do I have a Roku TV? If you do, YouTube is an app. I use it for crochet how-tos on my TV. Okay, I already did dog and cats too. They're on the YouTube channel. So the sun, dogs, and cats. The cats one is, it's pretty good. The dogs one's definitely good. And the, I don't know, for some reason it was hard for me to paint a cat that night, but we got the basics down. There's like a creepy cat I did with a palette knife. It came out kind of creepy. But, oh, that's a great advice there, Gracie. Awesome advice. So, a way to get YouTube on your television. Thank you so much for joining me. So, we really like the way you teach. Well, thank you so much for that, Lisa. I appreciate it. And welcome to the fam. Welcome to the fam. We do it family style here. Right, guys? 6,000%. So, those are how-tos that are going to be coming up. And then for paint party ideas, doing a lot of Halloween stuff. So, we got Dracula coming this Friday, and then there's one more Friday before Halloween, so we're going to do something there. Then we're going to do a fall gnome. You guys wanted to do... Oh, you're so welcome, Artist. Thank you for joining me so late in the evening, burning the midnight oil. Oh, no, that wasn't you, Artist. That was Shamim. Well, thank you for joining me, Artist. So... You guys wanted an impressionist painting, so we're going to do something along those lines. And we're going to do, let's see what else. So I think Deb told me I don't have any butterfly paintings, so I'm going to have to do a butterfly painting at some time. We have... French cafes on my list. I have all sorts of stuff on my list. I have peacocks. I have landscapes, which we just did one. Shamim's my fam. Thank you. Awesome, Tina M. Good night, sweetheart. I am not a lefty. Everybody asks me that. What happens is that the video does everything backwards. So since I have the camera set in the mode, selfie mode, because I want to be able to read your comments. It winds up showing me, good night, Shamim. Oh, yep, Tina B, that's right. I got to do the picture in the picture one. You got that? Yep, you're absolutely right there. I don't know, I better write that down. I don't think I wrote that down. Yeah, so Carl's a lefty. That's okay. We won't hold it against him. Yes, Tina B, thank you so much for that. So I got to do a picture in a picture. Picture in a picture. And I have a good one. I know what I want to do a fall painting doing that. So thank you so much for reminding me of that. I appreciate that. So, yeah, we won't hold that against Carl that he's a lefty. Even my words on this are spelt backwards on my sign. So this way it reads the way it's supposed to when it's in the camera. So these are actually a mirror image on my sign there. It's all good, Carl. I'll beat you up like I do all the other partners. So I hope you guys join us on Friday. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be doing a vampire. So you'll see that in my events. Hopefully I finish that painting tonight, so we get that taken care of. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Some of you said goodnight to me. Good night, Shamim, and good night, Tina M. And who else was on here? So good night, everybody. And yes, acrylics. All of my paintings are all in acrylic paint, and it's been the same supplies since I started, and the same brushes since I started. So it's always, always, always the same brushes, and I sell the brush sets that contain all those brushes. And I also sell the painting kits. Good night, Gracie. Thank you so much. Good night, Gloria. Ciao, Bella, Lisa. Good night, sweetheart. Pleasure to meet you. You're so welcome, Gloria. Good night. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, artists. Yep, thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Night, Tina B. Thanks for the reminder, love. So, on that note, I'm going to say good night to everybody, and thank you so much for joining me. You all warm my heart, and have fun and go create, okay? Night, night, everybody.